Each November, dozens of new laws take effect. Two have gotten the lion's share of attention. One that allows open carry for guns, and another that requires 9 months of supervision for felons leaving prison. ONR's Cathy Tatom looks at some of the other new laws that haven't necessarily made headlines, but will affect the lives of lots of Oklahomans.
In the past 6 months, there have been more than 72,500 tollgate violations on Oklahoma turnpikes. Almost 12,000 by folks who repeatedly zip through toll gates without paying. Failure to pay costs a lot more than an actual toll. For years, fines ranged from $25 for a first offense to $75 for a third and beyond. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority's Jack Damrell says most violators pay their fines.
On the past 6 months, we've collected about $420,000 in violations. Of that, about $300,000 is multiple violations, people who have multiple violations on their record. So if you want to expand that out over a year, we're looking close to about $1 million in violations a year.
But not all violators pay, especially repeat offenders. One reason they often cite, the escalating cost of repeat offenses made it too expensive to pay all they owed. So the OTA got the law regarding fines changed from escalating with each violation to a flat rate, $25 per offense.
We hope this encourages them to get in touch with us quicker. It keeps their violations at cost to a minimum.
When violators do pay up, the OTA encourages them to get a pike pass to avoid future instances of failure to pay. That's because OTA prefers to collect tolls instead of fines. A second new law deals with one of the biggest hassles involved with driving. That's getting a license. Lieutenant George Brown is a DPS spokesperson.
First of all, it's no secret that lines are long. When people go to get driver's license tests done, or they go to a driver's examination station, there's nearly always a long line.
That's because the Department of Public Safety has only 85 examiners between its 35 testing sites statewide. DPS wouldn't let us shoot inside an examination station because it might disturb those taking the written driving test. But through the window, it's easy to see lots of people waiting at this Broken Arrow site. To make getting a license less time-consuming, a new law lets private and public driving school instructors become certified driving test examiners.
The more instructors we get out there, the lesser the line.
William Robinson is with the Oklahoma Driving School in Tulsa. He's one of the first 8 instructors to be fully certified. Another 10 are in the process of certification.
There's no question that it's going to alleviate the wait. The kids are going to test here. They make an appointment, and we keep the appointment.
Robinson took us for a spin to talk about some of what examiners look for.
On the test, a signal is required on any turn and leaving a parked position.
They also require full stops.
The number one reason people would fail the test would be because of rolling a stop sign.
Becoming a certified examiner isn't cheap. The initial course costs $1,000. Plus, it's $500 a year to stay certified. So the law allows private examiners to charge clients.
We are allowed to charge for our service, $25 for the drive test. We do ask people to use our car, and we charge $10 for that.
Driving school cars have that extra brake pedal on the passenger side.
What that effectively does is it allows us to have insurance on me when I'm in the car, because if we were not the state, we don't have their insurance, and a state examiner has the ability to be covered by the state at all times when they're in someone else's car. We don't have that same luxury.
Under the new law, certified examiners aren't allowed to test students they had in their driver's ed or road experience classes.
I do believe that in the future it probably will be changed, and because mainly in the western parts of the state there aren't enough people to service the people, and if this system is going to work, then I guess DPS is going to have to try, or the legislature will have to trust the instructors to be examiner at one day and then instructor at another.
DPS is taking applications for its next driving examiner certification course. It could be held as soon as January. There's another new law that changes drug screening and testing requirements for TANF recipients. Toy O'Brien is Creek County's DHS director.
TANF stands for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. Back in the day, it was called AFDC, which was Aid to Families with Dependent Children.
O'Brien says TANF benefits amount to about $225 a month for a parent and 2 children. The typical recipient is a low-wage working parent. For years, TANF screened its clients for signs of drug and alcohol abuse, but couldn't require them to be drug-free to receive assistance. That changed November 1st. Now to get benefits, the law requires TANF clients not only to be screened, but also pass a drug test if screening indicates a problem. The test looks for things like marijuana, meth, and cocaine.
If they fail, then their needs cannot be included in the grant, but we would certify the TANF application for the children only.
So the family would still get a little cash to pay for the children's necessities. The adults could reapply for their own benefits after 6 months of clean drug tests. The mandatory screenings, and now testing when there's a problem, set TANF apart from other welfare programs.
Everybody goes through the drug assessment for TANF benefits. For our other benefits like food stamp benefits, Medicaid benefits, daycare, subsidy, we don't do any kind of drug testing for that.
Drug screening costs $19 per applicant. A drug test is $120, which DHS pays through a contract with the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. Last year, out of 21,000 TANF clients statewide, screenings detected less than 100 with drug or alcohol problems.